Hello everyone, and welcome to the review of the HITWAY BK6 e-bike. So this is, as you can see, a foldable e-bike, city e-bike, and it has a low frame so you can hop on it very easy. Or it makes it great for city use where you have a lot of stop and starts, or you want to deliver something or go to work and so on. It makes it very convenient. The design is also interesting because it's a multifunctional bike. Let's call it a hybrid bike. It has front suspension, it doesn't have rear suspension. Yet again, it doesn't have thin tires, normal tires, neither fat tires. These are actually 3-inch wide tires, so they are semi-fat tires. So even though you don't have rear suspension, the ride quality is very smooth because of the balloon tires that soak up the bumps. Then you also have a seat post suspension here. So this is very interesting in this format. So you can ride this, when you ride it, actually you can ride it everywhere, even on uneven ground such as this. It feels natural, it feels okay, and it gives you comfort. And talking about multiple use or hybrid or using it for various things, for instance, this back seat here, this extra seat, can be taken off if you don't need it, and then you have the rear rack on which you can put a basket or something and carry more weight on here. Otherwise, you can use this as an extra seat, although you don't have foot pegs. On the front here, on the frame, you also have this mounting option here, so you can install a front basket. The design is also very convenient, as you can unfold the bike or fold it very easy from here, and it has this stand on which you can rest. So as simple as that, the bike is now folded. But that is not all. You can quickly also fold the handlebar, so it takes even less space. And of course, you can take the seat post out, but I'm going to show you something else more interesting. So you have a removable battery here, and you want to take it with you. You are not going to take the seat post out. The seat post has a clamp here. You press on that clamp and you fold it that way. And I'm going to use here the key lock. And as simple as that, I have pulled the battery out. In case you are wondering, the battery is 36 volt, 12 amp hour capacity. Further on, the bike comes fully equipped. So we have a front LED headlamp with front white reflector. We have double-sided wheel reflectors in front and in the rear. We have folding pedals, and we have a stomp lamp with LEDs, all controlled from the display module. We have full metal mud guards that cover the wheel pretty good, so you are not going to get any splash dirt on you. We even have an integrated bell here, which is mandatory in some of the European countries. You have the removable battery, as you have seen, and this saddle, which is amazing. It's very thick and has a lot of padding, so it's very comfortable. And coupled with this suspension system, it really makes the ride very smooth. The drivetrain is made up a Shimano system with 6 speed in the rear, one single crank wheel in the front. Then you have the simple shifter here. As you can see, the bike doesn't have any kind of throttle. This is fully EU legal. 250 watts of power, limited to 25 kilometers per hour. But it uses the interesting S866 display. This provides a lot of customization. It has a fully advanced menu in which you can change a lot of settings, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to test the bike as it comes from the factory to see how it rides normally, and maybe sometime later I'm going to try to play with this and see if I can get something else out of it. You still get the walk assist function, so if you hold this minus button here for 2-3 seconds, you can see the motor is now helping you to push out the bike to walk with you, and you can disable that by touching the brake or keeping the button pressed again. So that's the only way the motor works by itself, but it's limited to maximum 5 kilometers per hour. Another interesting thing I have seen on this bike is how the frame is made. For instance, where you have this part here that joins with this part here, you have an extra part here. This one is added extra around the frame and this part, so it increases the surface of the weld, so reinforces this weld here. Same goes here, where you have the pipe that goes into the folding mechanism, and again underneath you get an extra metal part, as you can see there, which reinforces this part. Same happens underneath here, where this also is reinforced by this one. So the strength, even though it has one single pipe here, is reinforced in all the parts where the welds are. So it makes it a lot more resistant. Then here on the rear part of the bike, you have these two bars here that reinforce the rear part here of the frame, where it gives you more resistance. Okay, so enough with the talk, let's ride, let's see how this works. So to know how the bike performs, the dynamics of it, I weigh almost 100 kilograms and my backpack today has about 2 kilograms, so it's rather light. So take that in mind when you are hearing me, if it accelerates, if it goes uphill, how it does that with the load that I'm putting onto it. So I'm going to start right away with some off-roading, because this is not an off-road bike, so I not test it that way. So it's in the assisted mode 1, and you can hear the motor. It's not very noisy, but it's very grunty, and it has something to say right away when you pedal. I can from the start tell you a thing that I like about this bike. This bike doesn't have a torque sensor, it has a normal cadence sensor, but the cadence sensor doesn't have a big delay. There are some bikes that you need to pedal a lot for the sensor to pick up the rotation and then assist you. It's not the case here. The sensor picks up very quickly that you are pedaling, and it engages the assistance. Also, the bike has pretty good acceleration. It starts right away, you can feel it pulling. The motor has a lot of torque. It's interesting, it's an interesting sensation. And the front suspension with the rear seat suspension makes the ride very pleasant, unexpectedly pleasant actually. And here on the display, and the bike comes configured with 3 working modes, 4 actually. You have the zero mode, zero assist, so now it's a normal bike. You are going to pedal this, you are going to ride it normally. You can change the gears, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to do the following test actually. So I'm zero assist, I'm on first gear, so no motor assistance, and I'm just going to pedal around. So I am already doing 5, 6 kilometers, 8 kilometers per hour. This is just like a normal regular bike. I don't feel the extra added weight. So I'm on second gear, I'm getting some speed, 11, 12 kilometers per hour. I can go to third gear and I'm still pedaling comfortable. I can go to fourth gear, even fifth gear. Keep in mind, now I'm using this just like a normal regular bike, no assistance whatsoever, and I'm doing 15 kilometers per hour, and I'm comfortable with that. I can even go to 6th gear if I want a lower cadence, but I'm starting to feel that I'm putting a bit of effort now when pedaling, but it's definitely normal. If I go into assisted mode, you are going to feel right away, even on assisted mode 1, even if I'm on 7th gear, if I try to start the bike, you can now hear the motor, and the bike has reached 15 kilometers per hour, and it has completely stopped accelerating. As you can see here, even though I'm trying to push harder and I'm going faster, the display has a trick. It's not going to show actually higher speed than its setup. So the bike has 3 speeds, So assisted mode 1 is 15 kilometers per hour. Assisted 2, now I'm going to accelerate. It takes me directly to 20. Again, it's not going to show more than 20, so I cannot raise the bike because I do not see my speed. And if I go on start assisted mode, 25, and the speed indicator, it completely locks there. But also the motor assistance stops there. So if you reach 25 kilometers per hour, the bike is going to stop accelerating. So now it's doing exactly 25, and I cannot do faster with the motor. I can do faster speed, but it's not going to show it to me. There is a trick here. If I'm going to take this to 0, where there is no motor involved here, I can actually race with the speeder, and now I can see the real speed that I'm doing, and I'm going to go downhill. And let's see if I can show you more than 25 kilometers per hour. Nope, it's not going to show that, because the European e-bike law is completely idiotic. Idiots are doing it, so they only want to see 25 kilometers per hour with 250 watts. So this producer has took the matter further, and it has logged this, so it doesn't show more than 25, even when you are going downhill with no motor. And because we had some speed here, and I can guesstimate about 35 to 40 going downhill, you have seen the brakes work very nice, so you can stop very fast with them, and the tires provide very good grip, being fatty tires but not fat tires. And here a test for the comfort. As you can see, the road is pretty bad, lots of potholes, cracked bumps and so on. The bike feels really nice. The front suspension works very good, and there is one more thing that I like about the front suspension. It doesn't make any funny noises. It doesn't make the annoying clamping sound that some front shock absorbers do. As for the acceleration, this thing definitely has some power. It goes very quickly to the top speed. And another test here. So you just hear the noise of the wheels hitting that bump. The bike doesn't have any kind of strange noises. It's very well put together. No loose parts, no vibrating parts, no wobbling parts, nothing. So everything fits well. The brake don't squeal, they stop. I cannot find something, I cannot find a fault until now. You know that when I'm testing e-bikes, I always try to find the fault with them, something, because my motto is that there is no perfect product, everything can be improved. I'm trying to find something. So for the bike class that this is made up for now, I cannot fault it in any kind of way. And now we are going to prepare also to do a hill climb test. Let's see if this bike can go uphill and how it goes uphill. So I'm going to go into some lower gear. I'm actually going to put it in second gear. I'm going to stop here because here a ramp starts. On the camera here you are not going to see this as a hill, you are going to probably see it flat because this deforms the image. But you can see that that part there is way up higher than where I'm here. So I'm at the base of the hill and I'm going to start going up. Keep in mind that most of the bikes that have 250 watts of power and have direct drive motors, they cannot go uphill without being helped. So let's see if this goes uphill and how it goes uphill. You can hear the motor. I'm on 3 assisted mode and I'm actually ghost pedaling, so I need to increase the gear. Wow, this is something that I have not seen until now. So the bike goes uphill by itself the motor assists more than I can pedal, so I need to change gears. So I'm going uphill in 5th gear. Look at that, 20 kilometers per hour. Now the hill stops, 25 kilometers per hour, going just uphill. So rather impressive for the 250 watts rated this bike. The acceleration on this thing is impressive. I would have loved to see this motor perform fully unlocked. That would be more interesting. It would have probably topped out at a higher speed, something like 35 kilometers per hour. And probably this motor can have a bit more acceleration, but even so, it does very, very good. It has lots of torque. And another thing that I like on this bike, this display actually, with the power button, if you press it quickly, you can change various indicators here, and you have this vol from voltage, and you can actually see the voltage, the real voltage of your battery. So it's now at 40.3 volts. A battery, it's a 36 volt battery that when it's fully charged, it goes up to 42 volts. So now it has around 40 volts, so I have used 2 volts in my test until now. And this shows the voltage in real time, so you can assess the capacity much better than the indicator here. As you can see, when I'm pedaling and the motor goes on, the voltage will drop because it's absolutely normal. You put a load on the bike, and that load on the bike turns into a load on the battery, so you are using more power and the voltage drops. Perfectly normal. And I'm doing a bit more off-road with this, see if I manage to break something, but I doubt that. The bike works really nice. It's actually impressive. And I'm going also to do some downhill here, and this is so steep here that you can actually lock the wheel and you are going to slide, so you really need to manage the brakes properly and carefully. But going downhill, no problem. Now I want to actually test it uphill. I'm going to go full assisted mode, 1st gear. Let's see. So it's doing it. I'm going to try to do it a bit sideways because this is too steep, and I'm going to flip it over. The rear wheel was losing grip there, and that is simply amazing again. What a job does this bike with this motor. I haven't seen so much power on such small motors. I do have other e-bikes that have much bigger motors, but this one is very, very torquey for this power. So pretty good job, actually amazing job. And now it's time for the final conclusion. You have seen how the bike rides, how it performs. As you've seen, I am pretty impressed by it, especially about the motor. It has a lot of torque, it goes uphill, it accelerates very easy. So it rides really nice. The gears are well balanced. I didn't mention that in the video, but the gears, the 6 gears are well chosen. You can have a very low gear, so you can start, as you've seen, the bike from standstill with no motor. You can go uphill very easy, but you can also ride comfortable at 25 kilometers per hour. The bike is limited, without pedaling too fast, so you can keep a normal cadence with the bike throughout all the speed range. The comfort is also very good for the rider. The seat post is thick, you have the shock absorber in it, you have the front suspension, you have thicker tires, so the ride is kind of floaty and pleasant in all kinds of terrain. I also like the idea of taking out the battery quickly, and that you can just move the seat post, and not remove the seat post, but actually just fold the saddle here and you can take the battery out. That's a great idea. Also, this handlebar can go very high, so if you are a tall person you can adjust the bike to better suit you. And now for the cons. As you know, there always is a con. I don't like this rubber cap over this screw. Wait, you don't see it? Well, here it is. This just goes in too easy, in and out. So you are going to lose this first time you ride. I always take this out of my bikes when I buy them, and I use some glue inside and then put it on this so it glues there. But there are some adhesive glues that don't break down this plastic rubber thing, and they also can be removed without breaking them. Don't use things like super glue, because this will become brittle and is going to break. There are some universal glues. I don't know to tell you the chemical formula for them, but there are some glues that remain kind of a bit squishy, soft. They are yellow in color. I believe that you are not going to find them by my description. The idea is that kind of glue remains gluey, and this is not going to get off when you ride it, but you can take it out when you need to take this off to replace the tire or repair a flat. The second con is the rear seat. The rear seat is very nice, and actually my kid already loves it, and he wants to take him on a ride and he wants to sit there. The problem is that the bike doesn't come with some foot pegs. It would have been tremendously interesting to have some foot pegs so he could put his feet somewhere. Otherwise he's going to hang his feet, and he could stick his feet here into the chain. He is going to try to put his feet here, so it's not okay. So the seat is very nice, but I would love to have some foot pegs on that. And actually that's about it. I cannot find some rear cons. I only have a neutral comment. It's the display. The display, I've told you in this video, it's very smart. You can go into advanced programming and it has something like over 20 parameters that you can finely tune here. I don't like the trick with 15, 20, 25 kilometers per hour that locks the display. So you can only see the rear speed when you are not in assisted mode. While in the assisted mode, when it's 15, you are not going to see above 15. When it's 20, you are not going to see above 20. And when it's 25, you are not going to see over 25. It's an interesting concept because it's a lot to talk about that. It's an interesting anyway. And there are some newer bikes that don't even come with a display. They only have an LED to show you the assisted mode, and that's it, with all this nonsense about speed regulation, limits, and so on. So that was it for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and until my next one, see you and bye bye.